Clinic, Nevada, in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
101.5 FM KDAWN.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
And good morning, Las Vegas. Let's do this, baby. Come on. It is time for the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Of course, we're also streaming on that Odyssey app. Download that for our show and all the great shows on KDAWN. And, of course, so many other terrific shows from across the country. Great app, so check that out. And we're also streaming out there on YouTube and Facebook as well at the Mark Hoke Show. Give us a subscription on there on YouTube. We would certainly appreciate that. And follow us on Facebook, the Mark Hoke Show, and on X at Mark Hoke Show. It's not a bad idea. Take a second and do that. We're going to be covering the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. And boy, do we have a terrific show coming up for you today as we get ready for an invasion from TNA Wrestling. That's right. They are going to be here this coming weekend. And, oh, man, we have tickets for you. We've been giving them away all week on SportsX Radio. And now we've got 2 more 4-packs to give away for you later on in the show. So get your dialing fingers ready to go, because we're going to be giving those away. I'm going to give you the number in advance. We're not giving them away yet, but just so you have it, 702-257-5396 is the call-in number, 702-257-5396. We're going to be doing those throughout the show. I'm not telling you when, because, that's no fun. But just be ready when we hit a couple of breaks during the show. We're going to be giving those tickets out. So be ready. And you're going to be going to TNA Rebellion for that great pay-per-view on Saturday, April 20th. And, of course, the TNA Impact Live TV tapings are going to be on Sunday as well. So make sure that you clear your weekend out. It's going to be terrific pro wrestling. So join us at the Palms, Pearl Theater. Great place to watch. Of course, they were here in January for the Hard to Kill pay-per-view and the TV tapings as well. And wow, what a great show that was. Man, got to see Will Ospreay and the Rainmaker Okada, along with some incredible matches. And this card is going to be no exception. And we're going to take a little harder look at that as the show goes on. And we are going to be welcoming in one of the participants on that card, Jake Something, who is going to be challenging for the X Division title against Mustafa Ali. Of course, you remember him from WWE, went into TNA on his first night and won the X Division title. So we're going to have Jake Something doing his thing. We'll hear from him, get to know him if you're not familiar. Great dude. A lot of fun. Looking forward to getting to talk to him here on the Mark Hoke Show. And then hour number 2, Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talk Wrestling is going to be back on the show. And we're going to break down WrestleMania night 2. Of course, when we were on last week, Ruben Bressler and I got to talk about night 1, but night 2 was on Sunday. Of course, we're on Sunday morning, so we didn't really get to break it down. But Stu is down there in Austin, Texas, and does work with the Nightmare Factory, which, of course, is owned by Cody Rhodes. So he's in pretty tight with the Rhodes family, and Stu's going to really get to give us some terrific inside information about what was going on with the Rhodes family as, well, Cody is the new WWE Universal Champion. And just an amazing night and some amazing numbers coming out of WrestleMania as well. We're going to hit all that. We also have, well, Tony Khan has showed the footage. Yes, he did, of the CM Punk Jack Perry fight at All In last year. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I wasn't that impressed. I don't know if anybody came out looking good on that one, except maybe Jack Perry, the scapegoat. May have earned his name on that one. But we'll talk more about that later on in the show as well. And some other interesting news as Jon Moxley gets to add a new championship to his resume. And of course, he has now made pro wrestling history. Get into that and a whole lot more. And there's, by the way, new member of the Bloodline as well. So a ton of stuff, as David Letterman used to say when he was cool, for you on the Mark Hoke Show, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. So brace yourselves, guys. Just amazing show coming up today. But of course, I want to give a thanks to Steve Johnston, who had me as the on-stage host at the Vegas Toy Con last week. Got to meet the icon Sting, and I was doing that loud and proud. That was a lot of fun. And also Nick Nemeth was there. He had ended up being the replacement for Mick Foley, who couldn't make it. But that was great, and have a terrific announcement that Ken Thompson and I are going to be interviewing Moose, the TNA champion, and Nick Nemeth at the same time during this week. We're going to be doing that on Wednesday, and I don't know what's going to happen. That is the main event for TNA Rebellion. And of course, they've done a lot of their tapings already. So this might be the last time they're going face to face before they head into the Palms. So I don't know. It could get a little dicey. So brace yourselves for that one. And we'll have that on Sports X Radio with Ken Thompson, 6 to 8 p.m. Plus, I'm sure even though the pay-per-view is going to be over, I have a feeling it's going to be noteworthy. And we'll play some of that for you on our show next Sunday. And of course, AEW Dynasty is coming up too. That pay-per-view is on Sunday night as well next week. So it is a jam-packed week of pro wrestling. But I want to talk a little bit about WrestleMania before we get to our first break and have Jake Something coming to you on the show. Boy, other than what happened at WrestleMania, apparently a few people decided to watch WrestleMania. Just a few. Get this, guys. According to Variety magazine, WrestleMania 40 was the most streamed entertainment event ever on Peacock. Not a surprise. I mean, come on. It was viewed for 1.3 billion minutes over the 2 nights. Yeah, that's with a buh, not a buh. Of course, The Rock being out on both nights and the incredible victory for Cody Rhodes. Unreal. So WWE gets to claim another big success. Yeah, and of course, a lot of people very relieved they had a great time. And a lot of WWE staffers and performers certainly enjoyed it too. Because Vinnie Mac wasn't there. Vince McMahon, of course, not a part of WWE anymore. And they had their first WrestleMania in the Triple H era. And it appears to have gone pretty well. And to be frank, night 2 was one of the best nights of WrestleMania I can remember. It was pretty darned good. And if you didn't get to see it or hear what happened, well, you've obviously been under a rock, not Dwayne Johnson. If you're under Dwayne Johnson, congratulations, I guess. Way to go. Or maybe not. I don't know. But a terrific night 2 of WrestleMania. Just to run that down for you real quick in case you didn't hear what happened. Mr. Contract Roulette Drew McIntyre knocked off Seth Rollins to win the World Heavyweight Championship, but then started jacking his jaw at CM Punk, who was on commentary. Punk takes him out, and lo and behold, Damian Priest comes running down, cashes in his Money in the Bank briefcase, and Damian Priest leaves WrestleMania with the World Heavyweight Championship. Drew McIntyre leaves empty-handed. So Drew gets his moment, but he kind of gets another moment that I'm sure he isn't too thrilled about. But, of course, Drew McIntyre apparently still has not signed a WWE contract. That's coming up pretty quick here, so Drew better make up his mind. But we had 2 new world champions as McIntyre wins and then Damian Priest cashes in. The Pride, Bobby Lashley, Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford with B-Fab in the corner, knock off the Final Testament carrying Cross. Ekam and Razor, the authors of Pain, with Scarlett and Paul Ellering in the corner. Cross made the mistake of going after special referee Bubba Ray Dudley. That didn't work out too well. And Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits get the victory. Fun little match. Congratulations to those guys as they walk out with a WrestleMania win. And unbelievably, that was Paul Ellering, of course, the former manager of the Road Warriors / Legion of Doom. His first WrestleMania. Incredible. LA Knight beats AJ Styles. So, yeah, gets a WrestleMania victory. But in case you didn't see SmackDown, well, they're not done. We'll talk about that later. Logan Paul with another Prime bottle. That suit is getting a lot of workouts. I chose speed in it this time and saved Paul from losing his U.S. title. Beats Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. He walks out still the WWE United States champion. Pretty good match, as we expected. Bayley and Io Sky nearly stole the show. Nearly. If that had been the main event, I think people might have walked out pretty happy. But Bayley wins the WWE Women's Championship from Io Sky. Great match. Terrific wrestling in that one. But then Cody Rhodes knocks off Roman Reigns, wins the Universal title, and as Ruben and I predicted, we had an Avengers Endgame scenario as pretty much everybody showed up. It went Jimmy Uso saving Roman, followed by Jey Uso taking him out. Seth Rollins came in. Rock takes care of him. Then John Cena comes out to take care of Solo Sikoa. So that takes care of him. Undertaker takes care of The Rock. And then Roman Reigns sees Seth Rollins. Of course, Seth Rollins came out in a Shield outfit. And Roman couldn't control himself. He had a chance to take a chair to Cody and wrap it up. But he decides to hit Seth Rollins instead in a flashback to 10 years ago, which just made this match just was so terrific at the end. Normally, you would say that's an overbooked match, but you had 20 plus years of history in this entire match. Roman hits Seth, Cody recovers, takes out Roman, and wins the title. An emotional scene. Everybody was just losing their minds as, of course, Cody had been released from WWE in 2016 by Vince McMahon, who just another terrific decision by Vince. But Cody Rhodes ends up getting a massive in-ring celebration and walks out the WWE champ. So congratulations to Cody Rhodes, as he is your new WWE undisputed Universal Champ. And yeah, you got a little send-off from The Rock on Raw, as apparently Mr. Johnson would like to win that Universal title. But Roman's gonna be back, and apparently he's got some new help. We'll talk about whoever that is later on in the show. But an incredible WrestleMania in Philadelphia. I think one that a lot of people are not going to forget any time soon. So an amazing night in Philly. Oh, now we get to look forward to WrestleMania 41. But Backlash is coming up here in just a little bit. So stay tuned for that one as well. The road to WrestleMania 41 gets ready to go. And speaking of getting ready to go, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to hear from TNA's Jake something. And if you haven't seen this guy, man, powerhouse, but he can move too. One of those new breed of wrestlers who can kind of do it all in the ring. He's going to talk about him challenging Mustafa Ali for the TNA X Division Championship and a whole lot more. So stick around, everybody. We'll be right back on the Mark Hoke Show. And coming up later, your tickets to go to Rebellion. We'll be right back.
We could do this all night long.
Back by popular demand, the Sherwood South Point presents.
Let's get on with it.
Bill Medley and Bucky Hurd. The Righteous Brothers. April 16th to the 18th. Tickets at the box office. Online at southpointcasino.com or charged by phone. 702-797-8055.
Don't miss this show. We can do this all night long.
The Righteous Brothers at the South Point.
Thank you.
Dear Plugged In, you in on this? Toyota's versatile SUVs roll up their sleeves and take on tough jobs, dress up for a night out, or haul your family and friends to their spacious interiors. And they're available with some real sweet tech. Want a hybrid SUV? Oh yeah, they got those too. All with a slew of standard features so you won't break the bank. Get the juice at Toyota.com, folks.
Visit your Southern Nevada Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places.
You're pregnant, and no matter what you do, no matter what you try, you can't stop using alcohol, drugs, or tobacco. But no matter how lost you are, how far along you are, it's not too late. There's always hope, and there are many safe places that can help you stop using. In Nevada, pregnant women are given the highest priority for substance use treatment. Low-cost treatment options may be available so you and your baby can get healthy now. If you or someone you love is pregnant or thinking about getting pregnant and using alcohol, drugs, or tobacco, visit SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org or call 211 to find help today. SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org also has resources for healthcare providers, friends, and family. If you want to help someone who's pregnant and using, visit SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org or call 211 today. Sponsored by the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health and in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Join the Vegas Chamber today. Being a member of the Vegas Chamber sends a powerful message of credibility and that your business is connected to a larger community of organizations dedicated to ensuring Nevada is a great place to live, work, and do business. Joining the Vegas Chamber and becoming part of the largest business organization in Nevada has never been easier. Grow your business within your budget. Visit vegaschamber.com and join today. Sponsored by the Vegas Chamber in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey Nevadans, prescriptions can be expensive. Let the Array RX discount card be your solution. Now available to all Nevada residents. Simply sign up for free. Show your pharmacist your digital card and save money. Receive discounts of up to 80% on certain medications. There are no age or income restrictions, and it only takes a minute to enroll, so you can get back to doing what makes you happy.
This message funded by a grant through the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
1015 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
All right, let's get back to it. We are on the Mark Hoke Show, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. And we are getting ready for TNA Rebellion and Impact Live this coming weekend at the Palms. It is going to be a very exciting card. I mean, this thing is loaded to the gills. I cannot wait. I mean, the matches on this card are outstanding, to say the least, as we get ready for Moose versus Nick Nemeth. Of course, for those of you casual fans, Nick Nemeth, of course, was Dolph Ziggler. That's his real name, and he is going to be challenging Moose for the World Championship at Rebellion. Jordan Grace, of course, who made her appearance at the WWE Royal Rumble, has just become one of the top female wrestlers in the world. She'll be facing Steph DeLander with Matt Cardona in the corner. He's been causing trouble, so that's going to be a great match. Josh Alexander and Hammerstone get the third installation of their series. That is going to be an amazing and a last man standing match. Who has Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers will defend the TNA World Tag Team Championship against Speedball Mountain. And boy, if you haven't seen Mike Bailey, it's just wow, he's incredible. Eric Young and Frankie Kazarian in a Full Metal Mayhem match. I believe in Joel Hendry. He's going to be taking on Rich Swann and a whole lot more. But of course, the one we're concerned about today is Mustafa Ali will be defending the X Division Championship against Jake Something. And this is going to be a pretty amazing match, a huge contrast in styles, to say the least. And we have Jake Something on the show. So let's hear from the challenger for the X Division Championship, Jake something. And we welcome in to the Mark Hoke Show the guy that is challenging Mustafa Ali for the TNA X Division title after winning that Rebellion Referendum six-pack challenge. He's getting pretty good at winning those six-pack matches, to say the least. And I'll tell you what, it is a long time coming. We're going to wait and see if he's going to finally pick up some TNA gold. Jake something joining us on the Mark Hoke Show. How are you, bud?
I'm great, man. How you doing?
I am doing terrific. Looking forward to having you come back to Vegas. It was a good run for you the last time you were here, and you're going to get to try and see if you can win the next division title coming up. Should be a pretty exciting night for us for that, and all the great matches coming up at the Palms on April 20th and 21st.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm beyond excited. And like you said, last time we were in Vegas, y'all treated me so well. So I think we got to keep the ball rolling, keep that momentum going.
Now, Jake, for people that are new to TNA and maybe haven't seen you perform a little bit or don't know your background, tell everybody a little bit about your career. I mean, you've been wrestling for quite a while, and it's been a long road to get to this point.
Yeah, a very long road, but a fruitful one. There's been a lot of setbacks and a lot of failures, right? But that's kind of what I'm all about, is building on those. So every setback and every failure I ever had has led me to this moment, and now I get to challenge for the X Division title, which is beyond prestigious, right? And it means a lot to me. So like you said, I've been around for a while now. I've got my wrestling anniversary coming up, actually, and I look forward to taking that X Division title with me on that journey.
Yeah, and you've challenged for quite a few different titles in TNA over the years, in the time that you've been there. And it just seems like you've been so close so many times. Man, I'll tell you what, we're looking forward. I'm sorry?
I challenged for the X Division title twice. This will be third time. So third time's the charm, right? We got to make it happen.
Yeah, and it's been very interesting lately what's been going on with TNA. We had the rebrand and a lot of new names, a lot of changes to the company. What's it been like with this rebrand, all the new faces, everything happening in there? How are you feeling about everything that's been happening with TNA?
I mean, I feel great. Energy shift, right? We got a lot of energy coming, and it's called TNA, Total Nonstop Action. And you watch it and you see, oh, that's exactly what it is. But as soon as we did that rebrand, that energy shift, you felt it, and it's been Total Nonstop Action ever since. And I saw it as an opportunity to ride some momentum, so I jumped on that, and I'm doing everything in my power to keep pushing that charge.
One cool thing that happened for you was when we had the TV tapings and the first show came out, your match, the match that you won, was the first one on the first TNA show.
Yes.
That had to be a pretty cool feeling that, of all the matches they could have put out there first, it was yours.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
No, it's amazing because, ushering in a new era, right? The very first thing you see is Jake something with his hands in the air. And if that doesn't tell you what's in store for Jake something, then I don't know what will.
Now, you are one of those guys that has the combination of the power game and the agility. And over the years in professional wrestling, we've seen the guys who have been the speed guys. We've seen the guys that have been the power guys. But now we're seeing so many professional wrestlers who are finding that mix. And you're one of those guys that I think has really found that sweet spot between being able to do it both, with a lot of speed and a lot of agility, and be able to just absolutely beat the hell out of somebody if they want to too in the ring. What do you attribute that skill set to? Your workouts, your training, where did that all come from?
So it's going to be an all of the above type answer. It is my training, it is how hard I work, but also it is a natural ability and a natural gift. I, have good genetics for it, right? I'm explosive. and that has pushed me to want to train it even more. So I know I'm explosive, so I want to be more explosive. I know I'm strong, so I want to be stronger. I know I'm fast, so I want to be faster. So it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. It's a mindset. It's, you know, the desire to want to keep going. You know, it's all of it together.
Now, I read that there's a hero of yours who was a hero of mine, and that's Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah,
and it's very interesting to see that, because so many of us had our heroes in pro wrestling, and when I see that Hogan was one of your guys, who are some of your role models in the past and today in pro wrestling?
So he was definitely the first. Then, of course, you got Stone Cold. He was going to be one, absolutely. The Rock. But Triple H has always been like my guy. He was my favorite. So as long as I can remember, he's been number one for me. And to this day, I still love just going back and watching his stuff, but also it's his work ethic and how much he elevates the entire product as a whole. So I still look up to him in a way. It's a lot of admiration and respect for him.
Yeah, and there's a lot of fascinating names that have come through TNA and are still in there.
Yeah.
You guys are very fortunate that you have some terrific role models in there at TNA to work with, including, like guys like Tommy Dreamer and Diener, a guy who, of course, you worked with a ton in there. I mean, what a great locker room that you have to just be thrilled to be working with.
Yeah, no, it's honestly, it's a great locker room in every way. Like with our, active roster, the agents in the back, like we have just such a wide array of talent that you can pull from. Guys, just like you said, Tommy Dreamer. We've had D'Lo Brown in the back, who is just so smart when it comes to wrestling. Lance Storm, like it's a learning tree, and you get to sit under that and absorb it all. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just TNA has always been such a fascinating company.
Yeah,
and to see where you guys are going at this point. And, I think the last show at Las Vegas, really demonstrated the potential that TNA has. Where do you see the future of TNA right now? Because with so much talent there and people really do enjoy working for the company.
Yeah.
What do you hope TNA is going to be down the road, maybe 2 or 3 years from now?
I mean, we have, like I've been saying, so much momentum, and I just want that momentum to just keep going forward, keep going up, whether it's, hey, we get one more fan tomorrow, 2 more fans tomorrow, 3 more, 5 more, 100,000, million, whatever. I want to just keep growing and growing. And, I want to be one of the reasons that we're doing that.
And of course, we are on the Mark Hoke Show with Jake Something from TNA, and getting ready for TNA Rebellion coming up right here in Las Vegas. We're going to be rolling the dice down there at the Palms in the Pearl Theater with the TNA Rebellion pay-per-view on April 20th and the TV tapings on April 21st. And we were giving away some tickets on SportsX Radio last night.
Awesome.
And you guys got to, I'm just telling you, the phone lines were lighting up last night when we were giving away tickets, and we've got more to give away this week. So the fans are pumped, man. You guys have them going.
Good. I'm pumped.
Well, this is going to be a very interesting match with Mustafa. And, of course, he just came into TNA. First night, wins the X Division title, which I'm sure had to blow a lot of people away. I know it caught many wrestling journalists and fans off guard.
Yeah.
What were you thinking when you saw him walk in the door and all of a sudden he's holding that belt up?
Well, it's he got it from Chris Sabin, and he's amazing, right? A legend, an absolute legend. But I've been very aware of Mustafa Ali for a long time, for a very long time. I was on a show with him in Chicago, 10 years ago. So I know how good he is, and I've seen how good he's become. So I wasn't surprised when he won the X Division title, even though he took it from such an awesome competitor, So I know that I've got a lot on my plate, but this isn't a Jake something underdog story. I'm never the underdog. You know, you look at me, you know what I can do. I'm going to get in there. I don't care who you are. I don't care how good you are. I'm going to eat you alive. So
he didn't look very happy when you won that match.
I don't blame him.
He was so upset about you winning that match. I mean, he's sitting there. I want an appeal. I swear to God, he couldn't even talk. He was not pleased, sir.
Yeah, I have that effect on people.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic match. A great contrast of styles between you and Mustafa Ali here in Las Vegas next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see it. And this card, by the way, is just loaded top to bottom. I mean, we've got Moose and Nick Nemeth. We've got Hammerstone coming up, taking on Josh Alexander again.
Round three.
Oh, what a night this is going to be. What else are you looking forward to on this card besides, once you can get to sit back and, maybe sitting around with that X Division title on your shoulder?
Well, you actually just said the two that I'm really looking forward to the most. The Josh Alexander and Hammerstone. That's the third one, and I've been excited to see it anyways, just because I like both guys. I've competed against both guys, so I know what they can bring to the table. But then now it's been getting so intense because it gets to be that way sometimes. And Hammerstone's been taking some cheap shots, which I'm like, all right, you're poking a bear there. So I'm excited to see where that goes. That's probably the number one thing I want to watch.
Yeah, and it's interesting. We've seen a lot of Hammerstone here in Las Vegas. He's been performing for a lot of the indie promotions here in town. And, of course, Josh Alexander's been there forever. He has certainly been a staple of TNA. Yeah. But, Josh seems like the kind of guy that he's really put his arms around everybody in TNA and has helped try to raise everybody's level. Tell everybody a little bit about what it's like to work with him.
It's amazing. He's the standard, he's the pinnacle. That's who you want to be. Whether it's in the ring or backstage, he's an awesome guy, awesome friend, locker room leader. And he's one of those dudes. He doesn't BS you. So if you're going to go in asking for advice, you're going to hear if you suck, you're going to hear if you're good, you're going to hear everything in between. And I love that about him. He's very straightforward.
Yeah. Another match that's going to be coming up too. Jordan Grace is taking on Steph DeLander, and Jordan Grace has been making headlines all over the world as well.
One of the best wrestlers in the world. It's awesome.
Yeah. What makes her so special?
That's another just natural given ability that you're born with, and she's born with it, and that drive and her ambition just fuels it even more. So that's what's going to set her apart from everybody else.
So Jake, tell everybody something that they don't know about you. Just something fun, a little different, because of course, we see you in the ring, you're a crazy wild man, you're beating people up and you're flying all over the place. But tell everybody something a little bit more about yourself that maybe people don't know, so they can get to know you a little bit more.
Shoot, man, I don't know when you put me on the spot like that. I'm just like, my mind is blank. So I'm wondering what people do or do not know about me. I can just say, if you can see me right now, I've got very, very long arms. That's a weird, interesting fact about me. It's supposed to be your wingspan is roughly the same as your height. And so me being just a hair over 6 foot, I should have a wingspan of 6 foot, but my wingspan is actually 6'8". So there's a fun little fact for you.
What do you like to do for fun in your spare time?
Well, unfortunately, my ambition makes me just want to get up and go. So I am avid in training, whether it be watching tapes or actually training in the ring or training in a gym. So that takes up a lot of my time. But besides that, I like to relax, play some video games, watch some TV, standard stuff.
What kind of routine do you do? I talked about a little bit about, the agility combination of the agility training and the strength training. What are some of the things that you like to specialize in the gym to, build both of the sides of that? Because, like a lot of times when people go in the gym, they'll have those habits where, they're going to, do a lot of extra strength training and maybe ignore some of the other things that they should be doing to balance things out. What do you like to do?
So I do a lot of explosive training as well as just like strength training. So there's certain little programs you can do for just basic core strength, like a 5x5 program where basically you get a weight that you can only do 5 times because it's so heavy that you can only lift it 5 times. And I do 5 sets of that. And that's a very standard basic strength principle. But beyond that, I do a lot of explosive drills too. So like clean and presses, stuff like that. And I do it for speed. A lot of just like get up and go drills like burpees and stuff like that too. Well, yeah, exactly. Right.
You said that word.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know about those.
And then, a lot of people like once they get into a lot of that, they sometimes neglect the cardio. Can't do that either. So I'd be running, Stairmaster, treadmill, whatever.
Yeah. Well, Jake, I'm sure that you are going to have something special for Mustafa Ali coming up here in Las Vegas and try to send him into the void. This is going to be a terrific night coming up, and 2 nights actually, of course, at Rebellion. You have any words for your opponent before we let you go?
You know what? My thing that I always say is, what's my name? And I'm going to say it right to his face. What's my name?
There you go. Jake, I want to thank. Oh, and before I let you go, where can everybody find you?
On most socials, it's going to be at Jake something _.
All right. Well, we're going to get to see Jake something challenging for the X Division title against Mustafa Ali. It should be an incredible match, a terrific clash of styles as the high flyer takes on the brawler, but he's got a few tricks up his sleeve. So be ready. This is going to be an amazing match and a terrific night down at the Palms. Get your tickets now, guys. You can go to TNAwrestling.com, and you can also watch this live on TNA Plus or on Triller TV. That's what used to be Fight TV. TNA Rebellion Sunday, April 20th. And, of course, you can also get ready for those TV tapings coming up, Impact Live on Sunday as well. And this guy, we're going to have a belt going home with him. We're going to find out. Jake something. I want to thank you very much for coming on the Mark Hoke Show. We do appreciate it, and a pleasure to get to talk to you. Look forward to seeing you next weekend.
Thank you.
You got it. And there you go, everybody. Jake something. And he was as much fun as he sounded. Awesome dude. And we're going to look forward to seeing him at TNA Rebellion coming up at the Palms this coming weekend. And by the way, I want to see you there. That's right. I want to see you there. And here is going to be your chance right now to win tickets. We've got 4 tickets for the TNA Wrestling Rebellion pay-per-view event at the Pearl Concert Theater at the Palms Sunday, April 20th, 4 p.m., courtesy of TNA Wrestling. They're going to go to caller number 10 right now, 702-257-5396, 702-257-5396. As soon as I hit that break, we are going to get you, go to the lines and see who's going to win those tickets. So it's caller number 10, 702-257-5396. Best of luck to you, everybody. And we're going to get somebody else down there. You're going to see Jake something and all the stars of TNA at TNA Rebellion. Stick around, everybody. We've got a whole lot more on the Mark Hoke Show. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. We'll be right back.
There's breaking news all day long from around the world, and sometimes all that noise makes it hard to hear about what's happening right here at home. With the free Odyssey app, getting your local news plus breaking news is easy. And even when you're not near a radio, stay connected with what's going on right here by listening live and push alerts. Just download the free Odyssey app and search and follow your local news station, and you're good to go. The local breaking news to get you through your day at your fingertips on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Unsafe sleep conditions cause serious injury and even death to infants. Never sleep with your baby on a sofa, in a chair, or in an adult bed. Protect the baby you love from becoming a tragic statistic. The only safe place for your baby to sleep is alone on its back. in a crib, and in your room. For more information, visit cribsforkids.org. That's cribsforkids.org. This message is sponsored by the Division of Public and Behavioral Health, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
The LGBTQ Center of Las Vegas provides a range of health and wellness services in a safe and non-judgmental environment. You can get fast and comprehensive HIV testing, as well as screening for STIs for little to no cost. Appointments are recommended, but walk-ins are welcome. Located in the heart of Las Vegas near downtown, the center also provides an on-site pharmacy. Get more information at thecenterlv.org. This message is sponsored by a grant through the Sands Corporation, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Understanding the many things in a mother's life affecting her pregnancy is important. You can help improve the health of all mothers and babies in Nevada by completing a Pregnancy Risk Assessment Monitoring System survey about your recent pregnancy. Also known as PRAMS, the survey is from the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The survey asks new moms about their experience before, during, and after pregnancy. Responses are confidential and used to help improve the health of mothers and babies in Nevada. If you receive a PRAMS survey, please share your story. Learn more at nvprams.dpbh.nv.gov. That's nvprams.dpbh.nv.gov. This message sponsored by the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey Nevadans, prescriptions can be expensive. Let the Array RX discount card be your solution. Now available to all Nevada residents. Simply sign up for free, show your pharmacist your digital card, and save money. Receive discounts of up to 80% on certain medications. There are no age or income restrictions, and it only takes a minute to enroll. Visit ArrayRxCard.com to learn more and sign up today.
This message funded by a grant through the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
The David Hum bill was just signed into law, recognizing the third week of March as Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Week in Nevada. David Hum, known as the original Las Vegas Raider, died of MS in 2018. Now, David's legacy is helping expand access to MS care in his native Nevada. Learn more at clevelandclinic.org/MSweek. That's clevelandclinic.org/MSweek. Sponsored by Cleveland Clinic, Nevada, in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you shopping for healthcare coverage for a small business? Whether you're renewing a plan or shopping for a new one, the Vegas Chamber Health Plan, backed by Anthem, has many of the advantages usually reserved for a larger organization, like access to care across Nevada at lower cost. Lock in quality healthcare at budget-friendly prices through July 2024. Go to vegaschamber.com/anthem. Brought to you by the Vegas Chamber in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
1015 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
And let's get back to the best of pro wrestling news and entertainment here in Las Vegas. It's the Mark Hoke Show. Very happy to have you join us here on KDAWN 1015 FM. It is the talk of Las Vegas. And those of you listening on the Odyssey app, we certainly appreciate that as well. AUDACY, download that app now. Put it on your phone, your devices, whatever you want to do. If you got a chip embedded in your brain, put it on there. All good. That would be unfortunate, but whatever happens. But of course, we're also live streaming on Facebook and YouTube as well at the Mark Hoke Show. So you can check out the live stream as well. You could see Jake something and his 6'8" wingspan. Very cool dude. And I want to wish him all the best as he gets to take on Mustafa Ali at TNA Rebellion. Should be a lot of fun. And we're going to have more tickets to give away later on in the show. I'll just give you a hint. Keep your fingers ready. Be ready to dial 702-257-5396 when I give you the signal, the Hoke signal, because we've got more tickets to give away. So be ready. All right. Be ready. So someone made history last night, or Friday night, excuse me, as Jon Moxley, of course, does a lot of work in New Japan. Mox just went out in the New Japan Windy City card. And yeah, just the Windy City Riot beats Naito and wins the IWGP World Championship. He is the first person ever to have won the WWE, the AEW, and the IWGP World Championship. So Mox makes history last night. And not shockingly, bloody and battered Mox walks away. And Naito, who's probably right now with the departure of Okada and Ospreay, the top star in the IWGP, or the New Japan, excuse me. Well, Naito's out as champ again. They love to have him be the chaser, not the chasee. And we'll see how long Mox stays on top. There's a good chance it's going to be a long reign for Moxley, and he's going to be on AEW Dynamite with the belt. Because, of course, Tony's got that great relationship with New Japan. No one else would do it, but AEW did. So Jon Moxley is the brand new champ. And, of course, that card took place in Chicago. And you know who else has been wrestling for New Japan? The former Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, who decided to have a little fun last night. He lost last night, which is okay. But Jack came out with the Crimea River jacket, of course, referring to the whole thing with CM Punk. And he gets a little extra boost from the release of the All-In video involving himself and CM Punk and their little tete-a-tete, shall we say. Lost a show to Aminu. But Jack Perry got, well, let's just say it was in Chicago. He got a little bit of a crowd reaction. Just a tad. And this is going to be very interesting to see how this goes. Of course, the scapegoat shirts are selling, and this may make Jack even more of a star than he was as Jungle Boy ever would have. Can he capitalize on this? It'll be interesting. I mean, a lot of people enjoyed Jack as a face, and of course, he is the son of Luke Perry, the late actor. But Jack is now in a very unique position as an anti-hero, and when he comes back to AEW, boy, is this going to be something else. Of course, Tony had suspended him for his part in this brawl, and the whole issue with not wanting to use glass, and then the fight with CM Punk at AEW's All-In card at Wembley Stadium last year. They were going to bring him back a couple months after that was over, and then things changed. But amazingly enough, Jack Perry is finding his way around, been wrestling in New Japan and taking shots at AEW, but he's still under contract. So pretty interesting stuff. If Jack Perry is now going to just adopt himself as the scapegoat. I mean, it almost, I don't know, you kind of a Raven-y kind of thing going. Wonder if he'll take it that route, but Jack Perry goes down, but he had a good time last night. Mustafa Ali had, wrestled out there. Matt Riddle lost the TV title, the New Japan World TV Championship, to Zack Sabre Jr. Heard that was a pretty good match. Nick Nemeth got to wrestle Ishii last night out there too. So pretty good card out there for the at New Japan's Windy City Riot out in Chicago. But Jon Moxley makes history in Japan. Pretty impressive. So Mox just keeps it rolling. Boy, I'll tell you. And everybody just, I don't know why people just sleep on Mox. I don't get it. I know it's just because of him doing all the blood stuff lately where he's just cutting himself open all the time. But Jon Moxley just continues to become one of the most decorated professional wrestlers in the history of the industry. So congratulations to Mox, and Congratulations, New Japan, on another great card in America. Way to go. And that, by the way, is going to wrap up hour number 1. But before we go, I've got another set of 4-pack tickets to TNA Rebellion at the Pearl Concert Theater at the Palms, Sunday, April 20th. So if you want to win those tickets, give us a call, 702-257-5396. I'm taking caller number 10 right now. So give us a call, 702-257-5396. Just give us a second until I get off the air. I'm the only one in here, so bear with me. But hang in there, and we'll get to your calls in just a little bit. 4-pack of tickets to go to TNA Rebellion on Saturday, April 20th. Stick around, everybody. We've got a whole lot more on the Mark Hoke Show coming up. Stu Myrick going to be joining us, and we're going to break everything down that happened at WrestleMania, the Tony Khan tape with CM Punk, and a whole lot more. So we'll be right back, everybody. Hour 2 coming up. Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show, and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
As a Nevada high school student, you can have your voice heard, create lasting impact through service projects, and encourage volunteerism among your friends. Submit an application to join the Nevada Volunteers Youth Council and gain leadership skills, project management experience, and serve your community at a local nonprofit. Youth Council members represent high schools across Nevada. Together, your actions will drive positive change with creative, unique, and inclusive solutions. Apply for the Nevada Volunteers Youth Council today. Application deadline is April 19th, 2024. For more information, go to nevadavolunteers.org. That's nevadavolunteers.org. Join a network of young adults making a difference. Join the Nevada Volunteers Youth Council. This message sponsored by Nevada Volunteers, funded by a grant from AmeriCorps, and aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Join the Vegas Chamber today. Being a member of the Vegas Chamber sends a powerful message of credibility and that your business is connected to a larger community of organizations dedicated to ensuring Nevada is a great place to live, work, and do business. Joining the Vegas Chamber and becoming part of the largest business organization in Nevada has never been easier. Grow your business within your budget. Visit vegaschamber.com and join today. Sponsored by the Vegas Chamber in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
The LGBTQ Center of Las Vegas provides a range of health and wellness services in a safe and non-judgmental environment. You can get fast and comprehensive HIV testing, as well as screening for STIs for little to no cost. Appointments are recommended, but walk-ins are welcome. Located in the heart of Las Vegas near downtown, the center also provides an on-site pharmacy. Get more information at thecenterlv.org. This message is sponsored by a grant through the Sands Corporation, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Unsafe sleep conditions cause serious injury and even death to infants. Never sleep with your baby on a sofa, in a chair, or in an adult bed. Protect the baby you love from becoming a tragic statistic. The only safe place for your baby to sleep is alone, on its back, in a crib, and in your room. For more information, visit cribsforkids.org. That's cribsforkids.org. This message is sponsored by the Division of Public and Behavioral Health, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey Nevadans, prescriptions can be expensive. Let the Array RX discount card be your solution. Now available to all Nevada residents. Simply sign up for free. Show your pharmacist your digital card and save money. Receive discounts of up to 80% on certain medications. There are no age or income restrictions, and it only takes a minute to enroll, so you can get back to doing what makes you happy.
This message funded by a grant through the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
KMXP HD3 Henderson, K268CS Las Vegas. Always live on the free Odyssey app. 1015 FM KDAWN.
celebrate attacking Israel. I'm Deborah Valentine, Fox News. Video from the Iranian capital of Tehran has showed Iranians taking to the streets in celebration of the nation's latest attacks on Israel. Fox's Trey Yingst breaks down the latest developments from Tel Aviv, Israel.
It's always difficult to tell if these are regime-led demonstrations or if people actually took to the streets themselves. There is so much propaganda coming out of the Islamic Republic that it is challenging to sort of parse through what is real and what is not. The Iranians also are trying to walk a delicate line here. They play a charade with the international community that they're trying to follow the rules. And it's not just when it comes to attacks against Israel, it also comes to their nuclear program when they say they are only enriching uranium up to a certain point, but then they get closer and closer to weapons-grade material. Despite the Western sanctions, they continue provocative activity across the Middle East.
Following an Iranian attack on Israel and concerns regarding an escalation of the ongoing tensions in the Middle East, Israeli Defense Forces spokesperson Peter Lerner says that all the ongoing tension boils down to is Iran's actions. He was on Fox and Friends Weekend.
Iran has been behind the scenes for many, many years, and even more so in the last 6 months during the war with Hamas. Iran is the financer, Iran is the trainer, Iran is the puppet master of all of these organizations, Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis.
Several neighboring countries, including Jordan and Saudi Arabia, released statements saying that escalating conflicts across the region would be unwise. President Biden set to discuss the issue with his fellow G7 world leaders today. Family gathering in Chicago has left one dead, 2 gunmen on the run. America's listening to Fox News.
From the Fox News Podcast Network.
I'm Emily Campagno, and this is the Fox True Crime Podcast.
And I had nothing to do with her disappearance, but people still accuse me of it.
I sit down with the people who lived the nightmares.
I was in shock. I was just devastated.
The investigators who tirelessly worked on the case.
I feel for their families, and I really hope that they can catch this guy.
Bringing you closer to the story than you ever thought possible.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts. From the Fox News Podcasts Network. Listen to the all-new Brett Baier podcast featuring Common Ground, talking to lawmakers weekly from opposite sides of the political spectrum about the issues of the day and how Americans can find common ground in a politicized world.
That's just not happening on Capitol Hill. It takes leadership, right?
Yeah, it absolutely does.
Along with all your Brett Baier favorites like the campaign, the candidates, the all-star panel, and much more. Available now at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Oh, man, I am so pumped up for hour number 2. It's unbelievable. Yeah, you better believe it. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment here on the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 101.5 FM. It is the talk of Las Vegas. We are simply the best. That's just the way it is. No denying it. Just I'm ready to hop in the ring. Let's go. Let's go. And I want to congratulate, by the way, from our last hour, our first ticket winner for the day for TNA Rebellion, Marissa Garcia of Las Vegas, scored a 4-pack of tickets to head to TNA Rebellion this coming weekend. So congratulations to Marissa, who, you know, and I'm going to get Stu Myrick on here, by the way, from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling down in Austin, Texas, because he's going to get a kick out of this, who had said she has seen Rocky Johnson and Peter Maivia, which is just absolutely phenomenal. So good for her. So she's going to get to enjoy some TNA wrestling. So let's get Stu in here. Of course. How you doing, Stu? Good to see you.
Man, I'm good. How you doing, Mark?
I'm all right. Can you tell I'm a little hopped up all of a sudden?
Yeah, I was going to say, Talking about getting the ring, I'm the lead commentator for the Rhodes Wrestling Academy, led by the incomparable, the natural Dustin Rhodes, and he always jokes about me taking a bump. I'm going, no, people do not want to see commentators take bumps. That's why we are behind the microphone.
I'll take a bump. Tell Dustin to come. I'll tell you what I'll do. You guys fly me down. I'll take a bump. Stu, you can give me the bump. You can give me the bump.
I'll pass it by Dustin next time I'm over there.
That would be good. Have Dustin come on. I'll get into it with him a little bit, and then we'll set it up. It'll work.
Yeah.
You could bump me too, man. I'm sure you could hurt me if you wanted.
Yeah. But yeah,
I'll give you a little beard tug.
Sure. No, I stay behind the microphone.
It's all good. Well, we're very excited to have you on, but I do want to mention before we get rolling here, I have a little surprise for everybody.
Ooh,
all my listeners. And by the way, Marissa said she loves the show. And boy, it's so cool when you have listeners say that stuff to you.
It is.
When you're doing radio, because you're not in front of an audience. And just when somebody says that kind of neat kind of stuff to you, it just makes you feel really good.
You're absolutely right. When my show was on the Horn here in Austin, and I'd go to wrestling events, whether it was Inspire After Death or Wrestle Circus or whatever, and people would come up and tell me that they liked the show, and it meant a lot to me. It really did. So I value every listener I can get.
Yeah, we all do appreciate that. So if you ever see any of us, if you're down in Austin and you see Stu, give him a pat on the back and say, Stu, we love you. Because we do. We all do. But here's my surprise. I'm not done giving away tickets to TNA Rebellion.
Ooh.
Oh, no. We've given away 9 sets of tickets of these 4-packs between SportsX Radio and now my show. I've got one more to go, Stu.
All right.
And it's not a big show. And it's not just, a set of tickets somewhere in the Palms Theater. I've got ringside, baby.
Oh, there you go.
I got a 4-pack of ringside seats just sitting in my grubby little hands, ready to give away at some point this hour. I'm not saying when. No.
All right.
I want you to just keep listening. Be ready. Keep that phone number in hand, 702-257-5396. 702-257-5396. And when I give you the word, dial up, and you could be sitting in the ringside area for TNA Rebellion. That's going to be an awesome card, Stu. Have you seen this card?
It is. It's going to be a great card. You got Moose and Nick Nemeth headlining it for the TNA World title. I mean, such a great card. Just up and down. TNA, Impact Wrestling, whatever you want to call it. They're that promotion that, because they're on Access TV, which doesn't get as much of a clearance on different cable systems as other channels, but they are just so consistently good, which is kind of surprising to say considering their history. They have had a very up and down history, but right now they are doing some of the best work they've been doing in a long time, and it'll continue next weekend with Rebellion.
Yeah, they got to find a new network. I think that's a big step for them. If they could find some other place to air this program, because they have a ton of talent there. Like this feud with Josh Alexander and Hammerstone, people would be eating this up.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, Josh Alexander is so good, and people are, obviously Hammerstone was in MLW, but they kind of had the same problem that that Impact TNA had with being very limited on what people were seeing. But we've seen Hammerstone out here a lot in Vegas. And, we know how good he is.
Yeah, we've seen him quite a bit here in the Lone Star State as well. And Hammerstone is just he's such a talented individual and so built. And Josh Alexander is just a phenomenal wrestler, plus a great guy. I've had him on my show several times, just a wonderful individual. And MLW has the kind of the same problem being on BN Sports, which I think most everybody considers a soccer network, they show a lot of soccer on that channel. So, TNA, owned by Anthem, who also owns Access TV, I think it's going to be a little bit of a stretch for them to find another cable network that would take them on. I think they could, but it's kind of like they're keeping everything in the house for right now.
Yeah, I have a feeling there's going to be some more changes pretty soon. I'm just wondering with this whole thing that ended up with Scott D'Amore, if they're gonna, I don't know. There's a little birdie's telling me there's some things going on, so we'll find out. But it's going to be a great weekend here in Las Vegas, and looking forward to seeing everybody at the Palms Theater, because that is a great venue, Stu. And if you ever get out here to Vegas, you get a chance to be in there. I mean, it reminds me of like it doesn't go all the way around like the Hammerstein Ballroom, but it's got a modern flavor like that place, and it's just a terrific spot to watch wrestling. It's not a bad seat in that house. So if you come out and if you want to get tickets, you're gonna have a great time. I promise you really will. So
that'll be a good one. Yeah, and I'd like to visit the Palms. I'm coming out for Cauliflower Alley Club in August, so I may see if I can visit there, for an hour or so.
Yeah,
there.
You got to come out for Double or Nothing too.
I'll see if I can. I'm gonna try. I'm considering it. We'll see if I can get out there.
Yeah, Dustin might need somebody to carry his bags around or something like that.
Well, if I come out there, I don't. I get media credentials like the rest of us, so
right.
I get. Dustin might know I'm there, but that's about it.
Yeah. Well, I want to meet Dustin. I have not met him yet, and that would be awesome. So
he's wonderful.
Yeah.
I was just with Mark Henry. So Mark Henry he's trying to get his brand out there. So he hosted an advanced screening of the movie The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Which next week. Well, he had an advanced screening at it's called Movie House Eatery and Cinema. It's in the western side of Austin. He was there. His son Jacob, who is committed to Oklahoma as a wrestler, which and he was sitting there with that big OU sweatshirt, and it was everything I could do to not just give him free. I love Jacob. I covered Jacob for 2-3 years playing high school football here in the great state of Texas, and so it's great. It was great to see Jacob, of course. Great to see Mark as well. And yeah, it was a fun night, and I tell you what, like I said, I think the movie gets released on Friday. Go see the movie. It is a lot of fun. It is not for the weak of heart, and it is definitely not for the kiddies. But yeah, it's a fun movie, so go check it out.
Yeah. Well, you guys, I'm sure, are having a lot of fun down there. You being so close to the Rhodes family after what happened at WrestleMania. And, it's part of the reason I'm excited to get that you can come on the show for me today, because I can only imagine what the reaction was with everybody being so close to Cody and everything that he's gone through, to see him at that spot winning the WWE Universal Championship, considering that Vince had thrown him out on his butt in 2016. I mean, what a night Samantha Irvin's voice is cracking. Everybody's coming down to the ring. Michael Cole is in tears. I was crying. Because I saw what he went through. What was it like for all of you that were so close to the family to see Cody win that championship?
I've watched that the last 5-6 minutes of that match, I don't know, at least half a dozen times, and I get in tears every time. And Dustin was there. Dustin was in a suite there at the Lincoln Financial Field there in Philadelphia. I know how proud he is. He and I have talked about that so many times. It's a validation of what Cody did when he left WWE back in 2016, went on the indie tour. He came here for Wrestle Circus as the Ring of Honor World Champion, had his stint in TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan, and then, of course, founding AEW with the Bucks and with Kenny Omega and with Tony Khan, did everything with that, and to have him come back and now be, as he called it, as he says, he's the quarterback. He's in the spot of Roman Reigns and John Cena before him. He's in that spot now, and so it's his time, and it really showed what it means to bet on yourself and grow your brand, grow yourself as not only as an individual but as a wrestler. And now to see him with that belt around his waist, it's it makes it warms your heart. It really does.
Yeah, and I think people that may have just been casual WWE fans and not knowing everything that he went through to get back to that point, and everything that his family went through too. I mean, the story with Dusty and that Rolex, and Stu, you probably know a little bit more about that than I do. Tell everybody a little bit about that, because I think that's an incredible story with that Rolex.
Well, it was simply, there was a point where Dusty was not working, and it was, and they were, and if I remember correctly, I think it was when they were kids, both Dustin and Cody, or maybe it was, Dustin had moved off and Cody was still a kid, and Dusty wanted to make sure he could provide for his family, but he wasn't working, so it finally came down. He had to pawn off this watch to basically keep the lights on in his house. And from everything I've been told by Dustin is Dusty, he was so committed to making sure the family had what they needed, to live day by day. There were times it was not extravagant by any means, and there were times they had to scrape by. Thus the reason to pawn off the Rolex. And so to get that back, it kind of just it gave Cody a sense of validation. He always talked about being from undesirable to undeniable. He is most definitely undeniable now. And I like I said, I'm lucky enough to know Cody. I call him a friend. He is what he is doing now is just it makes you proud to be a wrestling fan, quite honestly. And one of the things that I saw. So Cody, whenever Cody goes out there, he makes sure shake hands, he signs autographs, gets selfies. One of the things I'll never forget, the very first time I went to a Ring of Honor, it'd be the second Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor in 2017 in Lakeland, Florida. That's where I met Kerry Silken, who's now one of my dearest friends. And one of the things I watched after the match, and that was when the Young Bucks and the Hardys had a ladder match in the main event for the Ring of Honor tag team titles. Young Bucks win. Hardys gave them the ring. They took their bow, and then they spent the next 45 minutes walking around the ring on the outside, making sure to shake every fan's hand, to take a selfie, sign autographs. They did that for 45 minutes. I'm standing there with one of the other Ring of Honor wrestlers, and I just said, this is why people come to see wrestling shows. And I gotta imagine Cody, understood that when he saw the Bucks do that. And from what I know, Matthew Nicholas, whatever you want to call him, Matt and Nick did that for every show. And I gotta imagine, as close as they were to Cody said, you know what, I need to do that too. And now we see it. And it's just if you invest your fanhood in Cody Rhodes, it's a good investment.
Yeah, and and just, of course, we're on Stu Myrick, coming to us from Austin, Texas, Score Sports Guys, talking wrestling, his great podcast, and just a wrestling legend down there in Texas, and very happy to have him on the show. And just of the match in general, I don't know if they could have done it much better than what they did. I mean, that was just plain pro wrestling fun and history all rolled up into one. In a normal circumstance, that would have been considered an overbooked match, but the way they did it, I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
It was overbooked, but it was overbooked in the best way.
Yeah.
It really was. Having Seth Rollins come out with the Shield music, wearing the Shield gear. I wish he had gotten at least one blow in, but I get why they decided, to go that way. But then you had The Rock, and then here comes another great Austinite in The Undertaker, which, and we heard the reports about how that was supposed to be Stone Cold and they couldn't come to terms. I'll take Undertaker any day of the week. He will do just fine. And it was wonderful. The funny thing was the whole card of WrestleMania both nights. I mean, yeah, you had your moments when maybe it didn't quite, energize people, but overall it was a really good card. And it's been a long time since we could say that about a WrestleMania card. And so kudos to Triple H and Nick Khan and everybody, behind the scenes and everything, because that was a really good show. And to cap it off with Cody winning the title, and now we'll see what he does going forward.
That is going to be interesting because now it's time to do it all over again. And the story's finished, at least that chapter, but that book's not done. And, we're going to talk a little bit about that and some other things going on. Like, some security footage got played this week on AEW Dynamite. And I'm going to be interested to get Stu's thoughts because I've been hearing what everybody's thinking about it. But, I value Stu's opinion over many others because he's brilliant. He is a wrestling god out there. Because, well, that's what he is, Stu Myrick. But you know what? I'm going to play a wrestling Santa Claus right now. Because I'm going to close my phone lines up. We're going to hit a magic button here. Here we go. This is radio magic coming up. And I'm going to give you a chance right now to win ringside seats for TNA Rebellion pay-per-view event at the Pearl Concert Theater at the Palms, Saturday, April 20th, 4 p.m., courtesy of TNA Wrestling. Caller number 10 is going to win that 4-pack of tickets to be down on the floor for this great pay-per-view from TNA. Caller 10, I'm going to wish you guys all the best of luck. As soon as I shut my mouth, start dialing 702-257-5396. And you could be sitting ringside for TNA's Rebellion pay-per-view. Maybe you'll get some moose sweat on you. It should be fun. So stick around, everybody. We'll be right back. More with Stu Myrick here on The Mark Hoke Show. We will be right back.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. What do you think of when someone says tough? Honestly, I think of a Toyota truck. Tundra's one mean mother of a truck with a twin-turbo V6 and incredible going power, and the Tacoma claws through terrain with a taller suspension and lots of creature comforts in the cockpit. Both Toyota trucks are decked out with tons of cool features and tech you'll dig. Check them out at Toyota.com, folks.
Visit your Southern Nevada Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. In Nevada, anything that goes into the storm drain goes directly to our local waterways, which can pollute Nevada's lakes and rivers. Nevada is the driest state in the nation, and we must work together to preserve our limited water resources for future generations of Nevadans. Here's some waterway wisdom so you can help do your part this spring. Clean up vehicle leaks and spills. Scoop your dog's poop, bag it, and discard it. Apply fertilizers and pesticides sparingly. Avoid sprinkler runoff. Don't litter. Secure trash in bins. Keep contaminants out of our storm drains. Use waterway wisdom. And remember, only rain should go into the storm drain. Join us in preserving Nevada's waters for future generations by visiting lovenvwaters.com and following us on social media. This message sponsored by the Nevada Department of Transportation, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
For 30 years, the LGBTQ Center of Nevada has been a safe and welcoming place to celebrate and serve the entire community. The center advocates for the empowerment and safety of everyone. It provides wellness services for better mental, physical, and holistic health. And the center connects people to the community. Learn more at thecenterlv.org. This message is sponsored by a grant through the Sands Corporation, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Ready for your next vacation? Not so fast. Before you hit the road, remember these healthy habits to keep yourself and others safe and sanitary. Wash your hands after using the restroom, before eating and after blowing your nose. Sanitize airplane seats and tray tables. Sneeze or cough into a tissue or your elbow. And avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands. Lastly, make sure you're up to date on all your routine vaccines, including the COVID-19 vaccine. It's also important to get tested when necessary, such as if you develop COVID-19 symptoms before, during, or after travel. If you'll be traveling to visit someone who is at a higher risk of getting very sick from COVID-19, or if you're in a situation with a greater risk of exposure during travel. Pack these tips on your next adventure. And remember, travel safely, Nevadans. This message is sponsored by a CDC grant through the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
1015 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
Woo, little radio magic there as we get back to the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 1015 FM. It is the talk of Las Vegas, and we do have a winner, everybody. So just let me take care of those lines. So, so somebody trying to win. I do know we do have a winner though, guys. I'm Mark Hoke. Thanks for being with us on the Mark Hoke Show. As Stu Myrick, everybody. Stu, what's going on?
Man, just a beautiful day here in Central Texas.
Betcha it's a nice day here too. As the weather, getting the weather going well here in Las Vegas. It's about darn time. It's been a little bit crazy. I want to congratulate our winner of those ringside seats coming in from Albuquerque, New Mexico. How about that? Chris Baca got that 4-pack of tickets, ringside seats for TNA Rebellion. So way go, Chris Baca. Coming in from
that'd be a fun trip.
Yeah. So Albuquerque, New Mexico. Very nice. All right. So yeah, that was close. I got to call him back though. I got all his information, so we'll take care of you, Chris. So hang in there, as I am in studio alone. I'm doing this all by myself, Stu.
Yeah, it happens once in a while.
It does. So yeah, you mentioned the rest of the WrestleMania card, and I do want to just talk about some of those other matches. Drew McIntyre gets his moment, and I do stress the word moment, as Damian Priest does do the cash in. What'd you think of that whole thing?
That was fun. I got to know Damian Priest when he was still in Ring of Honor as Punishment Martinez. Such a good dude, and that was the perfect time to cash in. I would dare say it almost matched when Dolph Ziggler cashed in all those years ago against Alberto Del Rio. It was cool. Drew McIntyre had his moment for all of 5 minutes and 46 seconds. I think that's what they said. And then Damian Priest comes down, and that was so good. Of course, CM Punk, kind of helped that along a little bit, and so we'll see. I'm sure we will see Drew McIntyre probably go a little bit further off the deep end. And meanwhile, you've got the world champion and the women's world champion both in Judgment Day with Rhea Ripley. Man, that faction's looking pretty strong right now.
Yeah, now we just got to get a tag team title change, because I hate to say it, but this isn't going to probably last too long with Awesome Truth. Truth got his moment, but I have a feeling those titles are going to go pretty quick.
I like to see Miz and R-Truth with those tag titles. We'll see who takes them from them. If I were a betting man, I'd say it's not from Judgment Day. I would say it's going to be another tag team there. Well, I mean, I say on Raw, we'll find out because you got the draft coming up in a couple weeks. So, which is funny because so Mark Henry and I, of course, we're both football fans. So he was asking me about the draft. I said NFL draft, right? he looked at me, yes, of course, NFL draft, because of course, we're both long-suffering Cowboys fans, and the Cowboys haven't exactly helped themselves in free agency, so we'll see. But yeah, you got the WWE draft coming up in 2 weeks, so we'll see who ends up on which show. And I don't think it's going to be one of those brand exclusive things, because they never do those things. That thing never lasts, and I seriously doubt they will do it this time. But you'll have Raw tag teams and SmackDown tag teams, which good reason to split the tag titles back up. And so you got Theory and Waller with the SmackDown tag titles, and of course R-Truth and Miz with the Raw tag titles.
I was stunned that I actually picked the A-Town down south to win. I picked the split and I nailed it. I couldn't believe it. I was right.
I had a feeling they would get a tag title. So I mean, good on them.
Yeah, I just but I hate the draft. I just hate it. It's just shift them around. If you're gonna do it, do it. It's no big deal.
Look,
I know they get good ratings though, so I guess you can't complain too much.
They get good ratings. They're trying to look. Everybody's trying to copy what the NFL does with the draft. NBA does it. Major League Baseball even does it every now and again. But the NFL has found that formula with that draft. And look, I was at the 2018 draft when it was in Arlington at Jerry World, and it was a great event there. And so everybody's trying to copy that, and that includes WWE.
You know what? Okay, I just had an idea how to make that draft better.
How?
The general manager picks the first person, and then whoever gets drafted picks the next person after that. Now that would be interesting.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that would be interesting. I think, I don't know. I'd have to think.
It could be kind of fun.
Yeah,
it could be kind of fun.
That. Because you got like in the NFL draft, Roger Goodell makes all the first round. I think he does. Actually, I think he does. The first 3 rounds, because you got first round on Thursday and then rounds 2 and 3 on Friday. And I think he makes all the picks for both those days. And then they'll have other people doing it on Saturday for 4 through 7. So
just imagine Roman Reigns is your first pick, and then Nick Aldis is just kind of staring at Roman like, all right, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You gonna take one of your buddies, or are you gonna make this show good? That could be fun. I'll just come up with some ideas. Anyway, but there was another interesting follow-up after WrestleMania, and this whole situation with CM Punk, who gets to make another appearance on Dynamite. Congratulations to him, with this footage being released from All In. And I got to be honest with you, Stu. I think everybody came out looking bad except for Jack Perry. But I just think this was a bad idea. My personal feelings on it. I didn't think they needed to do this at all. I hope Tony got it out of his system. But what do you think about the release of the All In footage with CM Punk and Jack Perry, the 6-second fight of death backstage at All In?
I totally agree. This was when they announced this, I'm like, why? Why are you doing this? You don't, I mean, look, I get it. You got Young Bucks FTR for the tag titles at Dynasty. That doesn't really need much of a push as far as storyline goes. Basically, the 2 best tag teams in AEW, and some would say 2 of the best tag teams in the world today. Why do you play this footage? Now, there was the talk about maybe Tony Khan was, he had something in his craw about what CM Punk said on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani. But it just felt like it felt like a cheap ratings ploy and nothing more. And everybody saw it. There's no audio. Yes, Punk made the first move, but like you said, lasted all 6 seconds. And that was it. And it's like I watched that segment and I was just shaking my head. There was no reason whatsoever to play that. Look, Tony Khan is obsessed, and we love Tony Khan, but he is obsessed with what they did at Wembley last year. He talks about it every chance he gets. He mentions it every press conference, every media call. He will. It's getting to where if you play a drinking game, if you take a drink every time he mentions All In, you're going to be dead in about 15 minutes.
I would agree, and
it did nothing. And you're right. Jack Perry, I think, might have been the beneficiary, the one beneficiary. And if you saw the footage from Windy City Riot from New Japan Pro Wrestling in Chicago, he's still kind of living in, CM Punk's still living in Jack Perry's head. He had the jacket with Crimea River written on the back and held up the flag for, the flag there. And look, we need to get past it. It happened. It's over. CM Punk is doing fine in WWE. It looks like, and that might be the one slight benefit, is that this may lead up to Jack Perry making a return to AEW. I don't know if he helps the Bucks or what, but there was no reason whatsoever to play that footage. If it was me, I'd burn that footage, never let it see the light of day again.
Yeah, I just think Tony was ticked. I think he was ticked off about that interview, and I think the Bucks were mad too. It just, when you're the challenger brand, you kind of try to do everything you can to punch up a little bit, but I just don't think it helped. Stand on your own merits. AEW can. They have the talent to do it. Just go out and tell some good stories, put out the great wrestlers that you have, and you're fine. Just keep doing what you're doing. But when you do this kind of stuff, and then you followed it up with Will Ospreay taking a shot at Triple H.
Exactly.
And I was listening to Wrestling Observer, and they're right. The guys are right. It was 20 minutes of you're talking about WWE. So all you're doing is you're drawing attention to WWE. Don't draw attention to what you're doing. You've got a pay-per-view coming up in a week and a half. Talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about the fact that you've got Will Ospreay taking on Bryan Danielson. Talk about the fact that you've got FTR taking on the Young Bucks again for what should be a terrific match, and all these other great, you got Swerve and Samoa Joe, and what's going to should be an absolute war that fans are going to love. But instead, here we are. This is what you and I are talking about right now.
Yeah, it was Will Ospreay. Look, I get maybe it ticked you off that Triple H made some veiled threat, but I'll be honest, unless you are into, you go deep down the rabbit hole, most people didn't know what Triple H was talking about. And to call attention to it on Dynamite, yeah, I'm like you. Why are you giving your competition airtime on your show? Like you said, got a pay-per-view in a week in St. Louis. Talk about the quality of that pay-per-view. We know the quality is going to be good. We know the matches are going to be good. The matches are always good. They might be a little long, but the matches are going to be good. Talk about that. Build that up. Quit worrying about what Triple H and the folks at WWE are doing, and just focus on your work. You do a good enough job. Let that do the talking.
Yeah, this is playgroundy stuff. It really is. And, I think that is starting to turn some people off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it really is. We've got Double or Nothing coming up here in Las Vegas on Memorial Day weekend, but we're not going to T-Mobile. And it's not that the MGM Garden Grand is a small arena or anything like that. I mean, that seats a lot of people, but it's not a T-Mobile. And that's, and as excited as I am, it's a little disappointing. When you're downgrading, I mean, you're not downgrading by too much, but it's still a smaller venue. And you kind of feel like, oh, man, I was looking forward to going to T-Mobile.
I get that. I could see the, for lack of better term, historical perspective of that. That's where the first one was held. It's 5 years now. Let's do this, put the same place. And I kind of get that, but yeah, at the same time, it's not in T-Mobile Arena, which is the better known arena. It's where the Knights play. I get that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like T-Mobile wasn't, the only seats that were open in there for the most part were just where the hard cam was. It wasn't like they didn't, the whole, half the arena was shut down or anything like that. It was, there were a lot of people in there. So I don't know, but it's just, they gotta just take it easy. And, it was funny, the whole thing with Kenny Omega coming out, and he did that Twitch interview and was talking about, I'm not an EVP. I thought it was funny that kind of led to that. The Bucks are playing this up, and then Kenny Omega's like, I'm not, this isn't my thing. He's basically saying, I just want to be a wrestler, man. I'm done. I'm done with it.
Well,
I thought that was interesting, really.
Well, and if you heard Cody talk about it, he didn't like being an EVP. He wanted to be a wrestler, and he said as much. The Young Bucks playing this up, I get it. It's the heel turn. They're going to be schmarmy heels. I was not crazy about their heel turn because it felt to me, and I could be totally off. It felt to me like people want to cheer the Young Bucks, but the Young Bucks are doing this thing about they're using their powers and stuff, and I get it. It does make some sense storyline wise, but honestly, we all know, the buck stops with Tony Khan, and as it should be, I guess. So let them. I guess they can let this thing play out, but I'll be glad when it plays out and they decide to switch gears. Honestly,
yeah, me too. But yeah, I don't mind the Bucks' heels. I'm okay with it, but yeah, just maybe in a different way. But I don't mind them acting a little snotty. I'm cool with that. But yeah, the boss thing, that's played out. I mean, I'm not big on The Rock's pulling the boss card either. I don't mind The Rock being a jerk because The Rock can play a jerk, but but I'm not big on the whole, like, I'm going to fire you as a referee kind of thing. That, I don't know, just Vince did it.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah.
It's done.
I'm there with you a little bit. I mean, I get it. I think The Rock pulled it off a little bit better. And I think most people knew, after Mania, he's got to go shoot this movie about MMA, so it's not like he's going to be around that much. But I could see it a little bit more with The Rock, but again, it's kind of like, heel authority figures are so played out. And they're so 2013, 2014.
That's right.
We don't need them anymore.
We don't.
It doesn't work anymore. It's a
Throw
waste
it
of your
out.
time, quite honestly.
Yeah. All right. We need to take one more break, and we're going to come back and wrap it up. I'm Mark Hoke, along with my good friend Stu Myrick. Always a pleasure to have him on the show. Stu and I could probably do this for 10 hours if we wanted to.
Easily.
But I don't think KDAWN. Yeah, we should try it sometime on Livestream, though. How long could Mark and Stu do a show?
God.
We could line a bunch of people up, do something for charity. I think that would be a good time.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I think we should. We got a few people I think we could call.
No,
but we are limited on time here on KDAWN. So I suppose I'm going to hit the music We're going to take a break, come back with more. Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling down there in Austin, Texas. I'm Mark Hoke, best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. We'll be right back to wrap this thing up, talk a little bit about a new Bloodline member, and a little more on TNA. And there's another wrestler who says, I'm feeling okay, but not ready to go yet. We'll be right back.
This is Josh Harris with the Richard Harris Law Firm. Join us for the Second Chance 5K on Saturday, April 20th, starting at 9 a.m. at Givens Elementary School.
Whether you prefer running, walking, skating, or just hanging out, everyone is welcome. Fuel up at our food trucks, explore resource tables, and groove to the beats of our DJ. Most importantly, we're coming together to raise money and hope for families and individuals impacted by addiction.
Visit secondchance5k.org for more information. Proudly sponsored by the Richard Harris Law Firm.
Hey, Nevadans, prescriptions can be expensive. Let the Array RX discount card be your solution. Now available to all Nevada residents. Simply sign up for free, show your pharmacist your digital card, and save money. Receive discounts of up to 80% on certain medications. There are no age or income restrictions, and it only takes a minute to enroll. Visit ArrayRxCard.com to learn more and sign up today.
This message funded by a grant through the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
My son stopped talking to me. He didn't want to leave his room. I didn't feel like talking to anyone. I just wanted to be alone.
I was really worried about my daughter. She was angry all the time.
I felt so depressed.
I was really worried about my daughter.
I couldn't do anything right. I was always getting yelled at.
My son told me he wanted to hurt himself. I was so scared.
I was feeling hopeless. It was all too much.
We needed help.
We needed help.
We needed help.
We needed help.
I needed help. I called the mobile crisis response team, and we met with them that same day. A crisis team came to my house and helped me talk to my parents about how I was feeling.
I called the mobile crisis response team. They met with us that day.
I talked to them about how I was feeling, and it really helped.
Sometimes understanding what children are experiencing can be difficult. The Nevada Children's Mobile Crisis Response Team provides mental health intervention and support. Learn more at nocrisis.com.
This message sponsored by the FBI Las Vegas Citizens Academy Alumni Association, a nonprofit organization separate and apart from the FBI in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association.
Are you shopping for healthcare coverage for a small business? Whether you're renewing a plan or shopping for a new one, the Vegas Chamber Health Plan, backed by Anthem, has many of the advantages usually reserved for a larger organization, like access to care across Nevada at lower cost. Lock in quality healthcare at budget-friendly prices through July 2024. Go to vegaschamber.com/anthem. Brought to you by the Vegas Chamber in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
The FBI is engaged in a nationwide effort to build public awareness of hate crimes and encourage reporting to law enforcement. Hate crimes include crimes committed on the basis of the victim's perceived or actual race, color, religion, national origin, sexual orientation, gender identity, or disability. Hate crimes are not only an attack on the victim, they are meant to threaten and intimidate an entire community. If you believe you are a victim or a witness of a hate crime, we encourage you to report it to the FBI by calling 1-800-CALL-FBI or submit a tip at tips.fbi.gov. You may remain anonymous. Again, report suspected hate crimes by calling 1-800-CALL-FBI or submit a tip at tips.fbi.gov. The FBI works to protect all victims of crimes, regardless of their country of national origin or immigration status. The FBI encourages victims and witnesses of any hate-related incident to report it to law enforcement. This message sponsored by the FBI Las Vegas Division, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
The David Hum bill was just signed into law, recognizing the third week of March as Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Week in Nevada. David Hum, known as the original Las Vegas Raider, died of MS in 2018. Now, David's legacy is helping expand access to MS care in his native Nevada. Learn more at clevelandclinic.org/MSweek. That's clevelandclinic.org/MSweek. Sponsored by Cleveland Clinic, Nevada, in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
101.5 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, let's wrap this thing up. Have a great time on the Mark Hoke Show. Best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. Keeping Las Vegas wrestling happy, because that's what we do. Stu Myrick from Sports Guys talking wrestling, joining us on the show. Frequent guest, good pal. Always great to have him on the show. And Stu, we got a new member of the Bloodline. How about that? That was something. Tama Tonga's showing up, beating up Jimmy Uso for his failures. Oh, I was worried Jimmy was kind of going to get thrown to the wolves, and boy, it happened in a rather, shall we say, violent fashion last night. Yikes.
It did. Tama Tonga, of course, multiple time IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champion. Recently, never open weight champion. It had been talked about for a while that he was going to sign with WWE, and he had signed with WWE. So, and they, it was like they brought him out, and he had his debut. And look, I'm happy for Tama. I got to hang out with the two of them during Super Bowl week in Miami, right before the world shut down, and they're I'm so happy for them, for Tama. I wonder if Tongaloa will follow his brother, because I think Tongaloa still has a little bit left on his New Japan contract. And there's been a lot of talk about, will Hikulea go, because he's the younger brother, and others from New Japan. That's where New Japan has to be careful now, because there has been a lot of talk about this, dare I say, mass exodus of talent going to WWE or AEW. We've seen it already with Will Ospreay and Kazuchika Okada, and now Tama Tonga, and we could see more. So New Japan they've got to start figuring out, okay, how are we going to fill these voids here? How are we going to shore up our roster so that we can still put on the best shows we can? But at the same time, Tama Tonga now now he's part of the Bloodline. They left it kind of open-ended. Was this, was him attacking Jimmy? Was that by order of Roman Reigns? You saw the reaction of Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman, by the way, played it beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know what to do right now.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be interesting few months to see how that develops. Could we see more people add to the Bloodline? There's talk right now. The rumor is Jacob Fatu.
Yep.
He signed with WWE. Could he be the next Bloodline member? Of course, former MLW World Heavyweight Champion, he appears quite often at Reality Wrestling down in the Houston area with Booker T. Could we see him join the Bloodline as well? And again, is this all being orchestrated by the tribal chief, or is this Solo Sikoa deciding, hey, you know what, I'm going to be in charge?
Or is The Rock making a new Bloodline or something? There's a lot of fun possibilities, to say the least. So this is intriguing.
It's going to be fun to watch.
Very intriguing. I'm excited to see where this is all going to end up. But poor Jimmy's in the trash can right now, and Jay's going to have to stop him from eating banana peels out in the street. No, poor Jimmy. It's pretty sad. But yeah, one more thing. I wanted to get an update here real quick. Big E had put out a notification that while he's feeling okay, no bone growth in his neck, so he's still going to be out for a while. Boy, I'll tell you, Stu, I hate to say it, but I don't know if we're going to see Big E in the ring again anytime soon. This does not sound good.
And I read that as well. And look, I loved Big E in the ring. He was phenomenal. I've interviewed him a couple times. He is one of those top-notch guys that anytime you talk to him, you got to smile. And I hope he has the best life he can have, even if it's not in the ring. Obviously, we have seen how well he does on the kickoff shows.
Oh, he's got broadcasting career.
So
absolutely,
if he ends up on commentary somewhere, that'd be fantastic. Just keep him involved. Do kind of like what you do with Titus O'Neil. Keep him involved. Have him show up every now and again, and just have fun with him, and let Big E just live his best life.
Absolutely. Stu, where can everybody find you, my friend?
Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, available wherever you get your podcast. Great insight from great wrestling insiders. Usually episodes drop every Wednesday. So yeah, check it out. We have a lot of fun. I get the likes of Mike Sempervive and Rick Ucchino and Dominic D'Angelo and others, to talk about what's happened in the world of wrestling that previous week.
All right. And that is going to wrap it up for us. Stu, thank you for coming on the show. I do appreciate it ever, always. And that's going to do it for us. I want to congratulate all of our winners we had all week long for TNA's Rebellion pay-per-view and the TNA Impact TV takings. Looking forward to seeing all of you out there Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be a great time. And I hope you all have a terrific weekend. Get ready for an awesome weekend of pro wrestling. It's going to be something else out of Palms Theater. And, of course, AEW Dynasty, too. We'll be talking about that on Sunday as well as reacting to that. And by the way, get ready. We've got Nick Nemeth and Moose. We're doing that interview on Wednesday with myself and Ken Thompson. I don't know what's going to happen to our studio, but it could be rearranged, to say the least. Thanks for being with us, everybody, on the Mark Hoke Show. We'll see you next time. Look up Mark Hoke Show to follow us on all of our venues. We'll see you next week. Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
We could do this.